by the Planning Commission, extensive material submitted back and forth. At the end of the day, the Planning Commission did recommend approval of this request to the Board of Supervisors by a vote of 3-2. The suggested conditions from the Planning Commission are included in your packet, and you also have a supplemental sheet that was handed out this evening with the update of the VDOT review of the most recent traffic impact analysis.
Mr. Fincham, did you want to tell us the Planning Commission results?
The Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation of approval by a vote of 3-2.
Okay. At the end of your presentation? Now, where in the county are sand and gravel operations allowed by right?
Nowhere.
So any application for sand and gravel operation would require a special exception?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay. Board members at this time have any questions of Mr. Fincham? No questions of Mr. Fincham? Thank you, Mr. Fincham. At this time, I have 46 names. I also don't have my glasses on, so I really can't read the signs. But we have 46 names of people that would like to speak. I'm going to give every person an opportunity to speak. Hopefully, some of those will use less than 3 minutes. No one will use more than 3 minutes. $50 times 3 is 150 minutes. That's 2.5 hours. Okay. No one will use more than 3 minutes. The applicant has the opportunity to go first. The applicant is going to make a presentation. Our normal presentations for the applicants are in the 10 to 15 minute range. 10 is really my target.
We will make every effort to do so.
Okay. We actually disconnected the computer to try to show something else. We're not counting this as part of your time.
Thank you.
Or should we? When you tell me your name, we're going to start timing you.
Yeah, you're good.
Or as soon as you start talking, we'll start timing.
Good evening. I'm Bill Childs. I'm very proud to serve as President and CEO of Cheney Enterprises, and I'd like to thank the Board of Supervisors of Caroline County for allowing us to make this presentation tonight. I'd also like to thank the audience for being here tonight and caring enough about your community to see our presentation. And we firmly understand that not everyone in this audience is in support of our application, and we also respect that opinion. We would ask that you keep an open mind and listen to the facts. Then we'll get a right and fair decision. I'd also like to make it known that this special exception application has had significant vetting over the course of almost 2 years and did receive Planning Commission approval and does have Planning Commission recommendation to the Board of Supervisors to approve tonight. I'd like to introduce you to the team that worked on this plan from Cheney Enterprises: Kyle Murray, Project Manager; Judy Johnson from the Human Resources Department; Hall Cheney, Executive Vice President; Sam Sharps, Waldorf Sand and Gravel Plant Manager; and myself, Bill Childs. Tonight's application and our interest is all about economic development. It's all about a business that's grown from 5 people in 51 years to 500 people to continue to grow. And as we all know, things change, and change necessitates growth, especially for a business. A business grows or dies. We're growing a business, we're providing career opportunities, and we're providing economic development. That's an application where everyone should be successful, and everyone wins. To understand our application, you have to understand that Cheney Enterprises is a very different kind of company. And we're very different because we clearly communicate how we're going to operate. We have a very clear vision that we want to be the best in our industry in all of North America, and we're currently operating in the top 4 to 6% of those in our industry. We have a mission statement that tells us how to do it. We do it by recruiting and keeping great people. We do it by making a superior quality product, and we also do it by simultaneously maintaining our commitment to the community and the environment. We have 10 corporate goals. That's the daily guideline. How do you do it? The first 3 are what you're interested in: safety, people, and the environment, and I will elaborate on those as we go forward. Our 10th goal is all about innovation, and you will find that we are an innovative company that welcomes input and welcomes change. We have clearly communicated core values. Everyone in our company understands our company is based on trust. All of us that are in any kind of relationship, be it a marriage, a business relationship, with the local government, a federal government, if we trust the people, everything works smoothly, and our company gets ahead and does better than the rest because we trust each other, we trust you, and in time, you will trust us. So I'm going to elaborate on the different kind of company that we are. Number one, we're an anomaly in our industry. We are a local, American, family-owned and operated business. Most of the companies in our industry are very large international or national companies, and I would have to tell you, you would probably have to go to Europe to find their CEO, or at least thousands of miles away from here. I'm working 6 days a week. Anybody who wants to find me can find me at the office 1 hour and 20 minutes from here, and a group of wonderful people that would be willing to help you. Another big differentiating factor for our company is we've been successfully operating for 51 years, and we know it to be a fact that only about 12% of companies last for 50 years. We're beyond that. I'm going back to our culture of safety now. Safety is our number one priority. It is a culture, part of the culture at Cheney Enterprises. Everyone in our company is aware when they get on a job site, in the office, or around the plants, what the surroundings around, who's there, what could happen, and they're taught to anticipate what if a problem arises, how to avoid that problem and deal with it by avoiding it, not letting it occur. Our safety director is here tonight. Our safety director has a career in law enforcement. I asked Billy Mancuso to stand up, a veteran of the FBI, the Secret Service, and a senior executive in the Charles County Sheriff's Department. In our commitment to safety, we went to a lot of time and expense to examine the road system that goes in front of Moss Neck Manor. We spent a lot of money and time, and what we found is that our application will add 1% traffic volume to the arterial flow of Route 17. What we found is that we will have increased the opportunity of an accident on Route 17 by 1.6%. I'm going to reverse that and tell you that tells me that we got a 98.4% of having nothing happen as a result of our operation on Route 17. In business, if you have an opportunity to be 70% opportunity of being right, you take it every time. When it's a 98.4% opportunity, it's a no-brainer. It works. Nobody's going to get hurt there. What do? Very complicated business? No, it's very simple. We use the strong community relations that we have. We are a welcome member of the communities that we operate in, and we would equate ourselves, we'd like you to be as proud of us in a few years as you are of Secretariat. We mine high-quality minerals. We process them into concrete, the building products that we all need for our sidewalks, schools, houses, roadways, bridges. We deliver it with superior people and service. We take what we've worked through the mines, reclaim it, take the profit that we've made, put 90% of it back into the business, 10% goes to charitable organizations. So where do we operate? We have 23 facilities in the state of Maryland. We have 4 facilities in the state of Virginia, of which 3 of those facilities are currently operational. So we're here to talk about sand and gravel. Probably the most boring thing anybody ever want to talk about. But we're here to talk about it, and it's important because every one of us needs it. Every one of us will consume 1.64 million pounds of sand and gravel in our lifetime. That's why it's important. It also presents the opportunity that we are here to present tonight. Now, it becomes important to everybody because it involves mining. Mining is the bad. Well, that has connotations with some people of rape, robbing, and pillaging. Mining, you think about this. Everything that we consume is either mined or grown. Anybody can find a flaw in that? Let me know, because I don't think you will. And then you know how we get it? We get it by it being trucked to us. It gets trucked to our home, it gets trucked to a distribution center, it gets trucked to a retail store. You know what Cheney Enterprises is good at? Mining, farming, and trucking. What are we bringing to you? Opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to grow. In order for us to grow, we're going to create jobs, and those jobs are going to create opportunity in this area. And they're great jobs. And we anticipate creating 25 new career opportunities in years 1 through 5, 49 career opportunities in years 6 through 10. Please take note. The median wage for Caroline County is $32,267. The average wage per capita in Caroline County is $26,047. And we just ran the last 12 months at Cheney Enterprises. Our average salary compensation is $61,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that is double what your median income is, or nearly 100% differential. There's a statement from the National Stone, Sand, and Gravel of the economic benefit of sand and gravel to the entire United States. It's an $18.6 billion a year industry. 90% of those aggregates are going to go within a 50-mile radius of this application. We're serving the people that live here. Another big difference, we have won the Alliance for Workplace Excellence in the metropolitan Washington area 6 years in a row. That award is given to innovative companies that use innovative business practices and take care of their people. The average person at Cheney Enterprises has been there 14 years. That's more than double the average for the industry. And the way we got that, this isn't something we can write a glossy review and turn it in. They come and they interview your people. It's about having flexible benefits, flexible work hours, career opportunities, and opportunities for advancement. This puts us in the company of Booz Allen Hamilton, CarMax, Verizon, Washington Medical Center. In addition, we have a wellness program that is gaining notoriety, quite frankly, up and down the East Coast. Our medical expenses, most are going like this. Ours are going like that because we're working with our people to be healthy. And they are. It's made a dramatic difference in the quality of life for our people. And also, I'd like to make sure you know we've won the United States of America Award for Land Reclamation and the State of Maryland Award for Land Reclamation. We do not rape, rob, and pillage the land. Finally, the crowning glory of our company is the Cheney Foundation. The Cheney Foundation is given 10% of the net profit from Cheney Enterprises operations every year to give to charitable, nonprofit organizations in the community in which we live and work. Our company is all about people, it's all about the communities we operate in, and superior products. And I'm going to tell you the biggest difference of our company than any company you'll ever meet. Our company has an esprit de corps that is unrivaled. And that is because our people are challenged, they're rewarded, they're content, they're proud, they have the opportunity to advance if they want, and every one of them is able to live the American dream. I'm going to turn this over to Kyle Murray to show you the mine site.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Murray. I'm a project manager with Cheney Enterprises. In an effort to try and keep this within our 15 minutes, one of the most important things I want to point out is how we actively mine a site. We have a process that we call 10-10-10. At any given time, we are preparing 10 acres to be mined, mining 10 acres, and reclaiming 10 acres. This gives us the opportunity to keep only 30 acres of a site opened up at any given time and compartmentalize our mining activities. It also allows us to keep the entire site looking presentable and not look like a bomb went off. It keeps the active activities on the property, whether it's farming or recreation. Those activities can continue to happen while we're mining. So it's very important. I wanted to point that out to you. The site itself is currently a 1,209-acre parcel. Majority of it is actively farmed, and it's a very simple piece of property. Our mining plan shows 544 acres of this property being mined in a 6-phase process. Our plant will sit roughly 2,200 feet from Route 17. And just to give you an idea of the size of this parcel, it's 2 miles deep and 1 mile wide. And our plant will sit about a half mile, just under a half mile from Route 17. We made an effort to make sure from a visual standpoint that this plant wasn't going to be seen from our neighbors and the surrounding properties, as well as Route 17. We had a balloon test run. We put a balloon 30 feet in the air, which is the maximum height of our equipment. You can't see it from any of the vantage points around the property. Traffic has been obviously a concern that we have been made aware of throughout this entire review process. We've had multiple reports done. We've had everything vetted through VDOT. None of these responses from VDOT require us to do any road improvements, but regardless of what these studies say, we pride ourselves in being a safe company, and we want to make sure that the citizens of Caroline County are safe and our employees are safe, making a proper ingress and egress out of the property. So we have proposed roughly a $450,000 improvement to the entrance of this site. There will be a 720-foot acceleration lane heading towards Port Royal. There will be a 435-foot deceleration lane into the site and a 1,000-foot bypass lane that allows traffic to continue to flow with not affecting the arterial flow of Route 17 and allows trucks to merge onto the site and accelerate and merge back into traffic heading towards Spotsylvania without causing any harm. We also have run a line of sight test. You'll have 1,146 feet heading towards Port Royal without any inhibited views, and over 2,000 feet in the directions towards Spotsylvania. Reclamation plan is very simple. Our goal is to have 2 large ponds on the site. They'll vary in size depending on the quantities of water that are available, and they'll be used for recreational purposes, or whatever's left will be returned back to agricultural purposes. Obviously, we pride ourselves in the reclamation process. We go out of our way from the beginning to make sure that we have a good plan for reclamation. There's bonds put in place that we have agreed to hold. We've won 2 awards that Bill mentioned with the reclamation of our one site here, which is Rendition's Golf Course, an old mine of ours. It was nationally recognized and recognized in the state. And the big thing that I want to make very clear is that before we mine, we set aside a large portion of topsoil and or overburden to make sure that we have plenty of material to stabilize the site when we're done and make sure it's green when we're done and it's not a wasteland of dirt. This was a post-mining use that we have. It's a large manor house with a large lake, something very similar. And at the end of the day, this project will be a great benefit for the Caroline County residents. It's going to generate tax revenue. It's going to generate high-quality, high-paying jobs. And we're going to be a good neighbor to the county. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to open the public hearing. Mr. Cully is going to call several names. For those of you who don't know, that's Major Mosier from the Caroline County Sheriff's Office. If you'll come down and sit next to Major Mosier when your name is called, you'll be close to the microphone and we can go from there. Colonel, you've asked to speak after the applicant, so give me 1 second to take care of a formality. I declare the public hearing for Special Exception 02-2014 to be open. Colonel Meyer. Following Colonel Meyer will be Reinhold Watson, and who's after that?
Forrest Parker.
And Forrest Parker. Those two. So Mr. Watson and Mr. Parker, if you want to work your way down, that would be great. Colonel?
Gentlemen of the board, good evening. I'm Colonel Dave Meyer, the Garrison Commander of Fort A.P. Hill. I suppose that puts me in the Bowling Green district. I like to say, and you've all heard me say, what's good for Caroline County is good for AP Hill and vice versa. As we go into this, I need to be clear. The federal government has no official position on the decisions of the board relative to zoning or the use of public land in Caroline County. In this particular case, what's good for Caroline County may or may not be great for AP Hill. Our principal concern is and is always the impact to training on the installation. I was particularly intrigued by the Cheney Company's pride in their esprit de corps. Well, I'd argue that we have pretty high esprit de corps too, and it's because we can train. It's because we can train in a hard, realistic way. It's because we can train in a way that most closely simulates the hardest conditions we'll have. The proposed site of the mine is almost exactly 1 mile from the post boundary and from a camp called Camp Pender. Immediately adjacent to Camp Pender is a night vision capable, short takeoff and landing UAV or helicopter capable landing strip. This landing strip is also used for parachute operations at various times of the year. We are extremely concerned that even with the generous concession of our partners in the county to apply dark skies technology whenever possible, that the extreme proximity of the proposed mine site to the post boundary and to these training areas that depend so heavily on darkness to be used to their full capacity, that even dark skies technology would not fully mitigate the impact of light, and that the effect on aviation operations, particularly approaches from the north as it pertained to dust, would render almost useless the Pender camp and the Pender airfield. The hours of operation, I read the whole proposal like everybody else. I see that we're proposing limited hours of operation and limited lighting. In spite of all of these concessions, we remain extremely concerned of the impact that the proposed site and the proposed operation will have on our operations, particularly Pender Camp and especially aviation operations in the vicinity of Pender Airfield. Any of your questions, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Colonel, and thank you for your service, too. Mr. Watson.
Hi, my name is Reinhard Watson. I live in the Port Royal District. I'm here to offer my support for the approval of the special exception permit for Cheney Company to mine sand and gravel at Moss Neck. I attended all of the Planning Commission meetings, and Cheney went the extra mile to overcome any objection that the Planning Commission had about traffic, sight lines, and whatever. Any objection was overcome. While I was attending the meetings, there were some things that I wanted to mention that I think probably is something that I really feel strongly about. And one of the things is, you know, we hear things like agricultural preservation. Well, I don't think that land that has commercial quantities of sand and gravel are very good agricultural land. I mean, it just isn't. The other thing is rural preservation. Tricor has permits to build 438 houses on Nottingham Farm, which is at New Post. They can also build 220 townhouses there. And if people are concerned about lighting, there's going to be a lot more light created by those buildings in that development than anything that Cheney is going to do at Moss Neck. In addition to that, when you talk about rural preservation, Spotsylvania is building a railroad station within 5 miles of the Caroline County border. And at that railroad station, Crossroads Development has a permit to build 610 apartments. I think that, you know, when you say rural preservation, I don't think that an area within a mile of a development is considered rural preservation anymore. And in addition to that, then you hear things like Virginia Byway, Route 17 is Virginia Byway. Well, just because you put a sign up that says that doesn't make it so. If you look at the traffic during the summer on Route 17, it's not a byway, it's a major thoroughfare. And there have been plans to 4-lane 17 since the 1970s because they cleared right away back in 71 or 72. So, you know, calling it a byway is fine, but that doesn't make it so. It is a major highway. And the other thing is a resource-sensitive overlay area. The only resource that has been developed in that area is sand and gravel. I mean, from the Caroline County border to Belvedere, to Moss Neck, almost all of it had been mined with sand and gravel. And I think that, and the other thing, that resource-sensitive overlay area was developed to provide Haymont with basically a monopoly on developing that area of the county. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Mr. Parker, and after Mr. Parker will be
Lisa Crittenden, David Bailey.
Okay. Mr. Parker.
Okay, good evening, Board of Supervisors, County Administrator, and the wonderful citizens of Caroline County. I come to you with great pleasure and optimism. My name is Forrest Parker. I'm the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Club of the Rappahannock region. You have a great opportunity to share a partnership with one of the most fabulous, outstanding, committed organizations, agencies, corporations in the greater Fredericksburg area, and that's the Silver Companies. 13 years ago, we sat in Mr. Carl Silver's office with Mr. Larry Silver, Mr. Judd Honecker, and we talked about the creation of a vehicle called the Boys and Girls Club. From their input, from their vision, and from their resources, we were able to take off with a Boys and Girls Club which has served over 4,000 young people in the greater Fredericksburg region. Our membership is only $30 a year. We are looking forward to that 10% of giving back, of being part of that. We want to be in Caroline County. You see, Mr. Silver has always been part of the Boys and Girls Club movement. Actually, Mr. Larry Silver, a couple of years ago, chaired one of our most successful fundraising activities in our banquet dinner. He's also has been part of the ongoing support of our Boys and Girls Club from the beginning, and to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the Silvers Company, we would not have a Boys and Girls Club in this region. So we're looking forward to forming a partnership. They're great neighbors. They're great partners. And as we talk about the evolution of reaching out to our youth, think about the time between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. when our youth are on the street. We have a lot of other nonprofits in the area, but it's now time to move forward with a possible Boys and Girls Club. I think if you vote correctly, I think what's going to happen is the Boys and Girls Club will be in your community real soon, and your young people will benefit from that. So thank you for your support, thank you for your time, and good luck with your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Who's next?
Good evening. I'm Lisa Crittenden. So thank you, Chairman and members of the Board of Supervisors.
Ms. Crittenden, when you say your name, tell us where you're from.
I am. So I'm Lisa Crittenden again. I'm the Executive Director of Hope House, formerly known as Hope House, which is now Lois Sands Hope House, located in the city of Fredericksburg, but covers our district area, which includes Caroline County. As you well know, and I hope everyone knows, we were the first shelter within our community to handle the homeless community and families. We've transitioned to women and children. We've been around for 26 years. With those 26 years, we have struggled as an organization to make a commitment to help every family in the community that is struggling and finds themselves homeless. With that challenge, we have gone to the Silver Company as an organization and made a number of requests and asked for assistance, and that has come forth diligently, courageously, and passionately. There's this talk about showing growth and opportunity. He has provided that for our organization. We want to be around for many more years to include families that are homeless and support them so that they transition into various growth opportunities and make a difference. There's truly this show of making a difference in our community. I don't foresee this actual revolution of mining to take place in a negative fashion, that there's a commitment to make a community difference that impacts us in a positive way. And so I hope that you give consideration to have this happen, because there are so many people within Caroline County that are struggling and that need opportunities for employment, for growth, and just to see the shift in difference. And so thank you for having me have the opportunity to speak on behalf of this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Next we have David Bailey, followed by Mr. Bailey will have the next two. Cheryl C. and Don C.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is David Bailey. I'm an attorney at law. I represent Gil Shelton here tonight. He sends his respects. Unfortunately, he is in New York and could not attend and speak. Mr. Sheldon has made his position on the Cheney mine known to the board members for many months now, and so I don't think it's necessary for me to rehash all of that. I do have written comments which I would like to submit to the board. I have 10 copies for each of you, and I'll be out of here in 30 seconds. If I may give this to
give those to Mr. Martin.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Ms. C.
I'm Cheryl C., Port Royal District. Thank you, Supervisors, for allowing the citizens of Caroline to speak with you with open hearts and decisive opinions regarding the request for a permit to perform sand and gravel mining at the Moss Neck Farm by Cheney Enterprises. I have been actively speaking to each of you through personal letters as well as face-to-face. I have felt very much the turn of some deaf ears to my concerns about the need to deny the request for this permit. You are well aware that the County Comprehensive Plan designates the Route 17 corridor mandated as agricultural preservation. Yet the board continues to chip away of this area, giving it away to sand and gravel mining. You have approved mining in Skinker's Neck to the south of me, mining by Emmett Sneed on his farm, next door neighbor to me, and aggregate mining at Hayfield, a half-mile from me. This does not include the mining approved by Spotsylvania at Belvedere Farm, which is approximately 3 miles, and already approved mines in Caroline. If Moss Neck is approved, this will consist of 5 operational mines within 8 miles of each other, all carrying away agriculturally preserved land. This does not feel to me to be agriculturally preserved. When will enough mines be enough? How will Route 17 be able to accommodate an overflowing traffic increase? Do you take seriously AP Hill's concerns about increased mining near their training facilities for our protectors of our freedom? It also seems to me that the Board of Supervisors has been more concerned about raising money to pay for the new YMCA. I've never understood the idea of buying something you don't have the money for. Now the why is here. And the approval of this mining permit is this approval of the permit going to somehow bring in a lot of money to help with funds Caroline does not seem to have? I am not a public speaker, but I hope that I have made myself clear that I do not approve of sand and gravel mining at Moss Neck Farm. Please deny the application to dig, 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 and destroy this beautiful and one-of-a-kind county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. C. Mr. Wachmeister will be after Mr. C. and Ellen Sneed after that. Mr. C., thank you very much, sir.
Hi, I'm Donald C. of the Port Royal District. I want to thank you, Supervisors, for this opportunity to speak with you face to face. Because you have been elected by the citizens of this county, it is only appropriate that you give us another opportunity to speak other than at polls. I hope now that you will listen with unclouded, open minds to hear us. My family property is directly in the vicinity of Moss Neck Farm, where a request has been made to permit sand and gravel mining to be accomplished. In fact, if approved, the mining application will particularly be in our front yard. If mining is approved, my family and neighbors will bear the horrendous brunt of the mining noise and the unending traffic caused by the mining equipment and trucks that will transport this product out of Caroline County. You yourselves don't have to be concerned about this problem since you don't live on Route 17. You are far removed to another area of the county. You will not be unaware of interpretation of our lives, interruption of our lives. There are numerous reasons why this mining permit should not be granted, and have been and will be shared by other citizens who know more about this kind of politics than I do. I simply want you to know that I am very much concerned about the preservation of the Route 17 corridor. Once it is gone, it will never be reclaimed to the beauty and agricultural usefulness it now possesses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. C. Mr. Wachmeister?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, the board. My name is Albert Wachtmeister, Port Royal District. I will be very short and to say that I approve of this, or I like this project, and I wish you approve it. And I have some Sunday reading for you here.
If you'll give it to Mr. Parton, we appreciate it.
Very much.
Thank you, sir. Mrs. Sneed is next, Emmett Marshall, and then Greg Cockerham. Mrs. Sneed?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Ellen Sneed, and I'm in the Port Royal District. My husband and I are actually landowners beside Moss Neck, and I'm here to say, as an adjoining property owner to Moss Neck Farm, that my husband and I are in approval of their project. Like I said, like we've heard, it said, I think the Cheney operation would do a wonderful job in what they're doing there, and it will be the same as it was. I think it will be an improved property and will be the same as it was. So I'm here to give my support for the proposal and for his plan to operate the mine on Moss Neck Manor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sneed, and I believe the board also has a letter from Mr. Sneed.
Yes, we do. Thank you. I wanted to mention that my husband did drop a letter off to each of you concerning this matter.
I think we have that.
And I'd like to say that Mr. Silver is a good neighbor, has been a good neighbor, and good neighbors are a blessing. Good neighbors do not look across the fence line or the property line to judge what the other person is doing and claim that it's not right for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sneed. Mr. Marshall, how are you today, sir?
I'm surviving.
Good to have you down here.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Emmett Marshall. I live in Spotsylvania, but I own property in Caroline County. I have an interest in what might happen. And I don't know how many of you know me or not, but I served on the Board of Supervisors of Spotsylvania County for 34 years. That was a record. I was real proud of that. And let me say to you that during that time, most of that time, we had a sand and gravel operation, which was Massaponax sand and gravel. I don't remember ever having a complaint. Not one. Even though it was a small sand and gravel operation on my property at one time, never had a problem. The proposed project for Caroline County will not only produce jobs, but it will generate tax revenue. It will be a plus for the county, and I urge you to seriously consider it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. Good to have you in Caroline. Greg?
Yes, sir.
Cockerham?
Cockerham, yes, sir.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Vanessa? Oh, Johnson Coleman? Does that sound right? Thank you. And then Carl Jones. Mr. Cockerham, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Good evening to the members of the Board of Supervisors and to the citizens of Caroline County. Thank you for letting us speak. We appreciate it greatly. I am Greg Cockerham. I'm the Executive Vice President and Chief Lending Officer of Community Bank of the Chesapeake. We have offices in Southern Maryland as well as Fredericksburg and Dahlgren. We are very involved in the community. I've been in banking for 39 years, and I've had the privilege to serve on various community groups as well as foundations, and have enjoyed that time with my community. I've known the Cheney companies and its affiliates, its principals, and managers for over 30 years. They've always had a reputable supplier of aggregate materials, and they are a leader in concrete products. Cheney has maintained an excellent business relationship, and probably most importantly to me, they've been a great community citizen. They are the only company that I'm aware of in Charles County that has won the Charles County Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award as selected by its peers. They have also been recognized by the College of Southern Maryland in its Business in Partnership and Education Award that's issued as a leading edge award for the college. The college also gave Mr. Childs the award, or recognized him rather, he earned it, gave him the award for CEO of the Year. And in his participation with the college also. Mr. Frank Cheney has been honored in the business community with the Good Scout Award, as given by the Boy Scouts of America. The company was recognized as winners of the 2013 Concrete Cares Award, and this award is a company in North America, pretty wide encompassing, which gives back the most important time and money to the community it serves. They also won the National Stone, Sand, and Gravel Association Excellence in Community Relations Award, and you needed a truck just to call the plate. But this award was given by the National Stone and Sand and Gravel Association for Excellence in Community Relations, and it focused on the school children and their participation with those. They were recently inducted into the Community Foundation of Southern Maryland Philanthropy Hall of Fame. And actually, they were the driving force that created that community foundation and made sure that it succeeded in Southern Maryland. As a banker for 39 years, I've learned what trust means. And I have placed my trust in this company, and it has been rewarded many times over. I do strongly encourage your support. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next we have,
Every time I get up, my legs quit. My name is Johnson Coleman. I'm from Bowling Green District. I've spent a lot of time preparing a lot of information that I wanted to share with you guys, but the Cheney guys covered it all. So I'm not going to bore you by making you listen to it again. The only comment I have is sort of a negative one. Understand the closest person to this mining situation is only in the area 6 months a year. The other 6 months is overseas in Paris, so he ain't gonna bother him 6 months a year anyways. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. No, we won't, yeah. Our next speaker is Carl Jones, and then followed by Reverend Davies? Oh, okay. And then Reverend Otis K.
Thank you very kindly.